Start.
Good morning, all. I am Chirag Ravishankar from Bengaluru. I am Tata's grandson, and I'm here today to I have a couple of questions for him. So I myself am doing my bachelor degree final year in Jain University in English, psychology, and journalism. So I have a couple of questions here. So Tata, please come sit down.
Okay, Chirag, I'll sit down. You may ask whatever you want. Give me the mic. I thank you for calling me for a little interview. I'll be too glad to answer your questions. May I request you to ask your first question, please? Take the mic.
Thank you, Tata. The first question is: you've taught part of 2 centuries as a student, a teacher, headmaster, as well as a director of education.
Yes.
That's quite a few roles for one to take up. What is the most important takeaway from your experience as a teacher, as well as your most memorable moment in the classroom?
Okay. It's a very good question. In fact, it takes a long time to answer because the questions you ask is varied areas. But one thing which attracted me is to say, what is the takeaway you got from your experience? My takeaway is very simple. I think all of you can follow the same thing. My takeaway is that one is you must be sincere. I was sincere to my job, looking at my teachers in the college. So sincere, and I wanted to, whatever I wanted to give to students, I was sincere. I mastered the content when I was about to teach. So that is an important takeaway from me. So whenever I want to tell people, I tell 2 things. One is be sincere to your own work. Find out what you want to do and become expert or master in the area where you would like to take. These are the 2 important takeaways I would like to give. And one more thing is keep up the time and make a kind of a plan for what you want to do. So use the time and then be sincere on that. Don't tell anybody lies to please them. Don't do that. And try to be as truthful as possible for your own self and dedicate your work, dedicate your time for what you want to learn. These are the 3 takeaways to say: sincerity, dedication, and then hard work. Next question, please.
Well, Tata, that is something very wonderful.
Thank you.
The next question I have is: every teacher has someone they look up to. Who is your biggest inspiration and what is it that motivates you to teach?
Hello. My most important motivation is my own students. Because when I teach young students and look at them, the potentials they have inside their brain is not fully brought out. So the neurons, what we have in our brain, can accommodate a large number of information and can do many things which normally we don't tap. So my inspiration is only to see that how every child becomes what it should be, because many people say that anyone can do anything what other person can do. There is no restriction for that. If one can do the same thing, other can do also the same thing, but maybe something more time is required, sometimes less time is required to other people. I think that's a good question. My inspiration is only my work, my dedication, and my students. 21st question.
Well, Tata, that is truly inspiring to hear you say that your students are your inspiration.
Exactly.
Which is not a lot of teachers say that. They normally quote another prominent personality, but for you to say that, it really is something special. The next question is: you've made about 250 videos. You made about 250 videos. I've noticed a handful of gadgets which are on your table. So my question is: Who taught you to set up? Who helps you write your scripts? And if there is anything you would like to share about how far you've come from your first video.
It's a good question because I did not know what to do after my retirement and after my work about in during say until say 2018. I was doing my own work. At that time, I discussed with my daughter, who is a professor in computer science. She told me, why not you attend for YouTube? I was very happy. First YouTube I did was only a PPT, just a presentation of 20 lines and talking behind, like a very archaic one when I compare to now. Then later on, when I discussed with my other grandsons and other people, they said you have to learn more skills. So in that condition, I just purchased a new laptop which contains Windows. It was never easy for me to operate on Windows. Then I took online courses like how to learn learning itself, and then also took some online courses on how to make presentations for the YouTube, and that helped me. And now I am in a position to I discussed with my young friends and computer specialists and my own grandsons about how to improve my presentation. Then I started getting the webcam, and I wanted to use how to use the webcam. From the webcam, I wanted to know how to lay in the sounds into the PPTs. From then, how to lay in the pictures to the PPTs, how to collect information from Creative Commons, Wikipedia. All these things I learned. And then finally, I came to the conclusion that my PPTs were almost like textbooks. So I wanted them to convert into presentations. Where I used to write 25 lines in one PPT, I came to 5 lines with only 3 or 4 words or 5 words. That's one technique I learned from the things using the gadgets. Now I learned how to animate them, how to make transitions. All these things, I made it as trial and error method. That means to say, even at the age of 80, I can learn all these things. And therefore, these skills I learned in a very, very way. I'm happy that I finished 250 PPTs. 21st century, 20 different scale. That's important.
Okay, that really is something to look forward to. What is the difference between the 21st century education as well as the 20th century education in your perspective?
I can talk many sentences about that, ideas. And even if you look at Wikipedia, you got pages and pages and pages full of information about 21st and 22nd century. In my own words, if I apply it to my own field of education like that, in 20th century, that is from 1947, when we got our independence, to 2000, many education experts started telling, because at that time, education was teacher-centric. Whatever teacher wanted to do, children were made to do, even at the college level. Even at the research level, when they discuss, whatever the guide says, the researcher has to do on the guide, on that area. That means the entire education was teacher-centered, and the information gathering was only from the libraries or from discussions or from reading, sitting old books and other theses, hours together and learning. By the time we came to 1980 and onwards, a lot of digital changes happened and computer things have happened. Wikipedia came, and all these things led on to what is called digital world by the time we entered 1999. When 1999 ends, we get 2020. 2020 is the beginning of the 21st century, because 21st century starts from that. At that time, there were a lot of changes. By the time we came to 21st century, there was a transformation in education, especially in the learning is concerned. Student-centered becomes active on the main agenda. Students were more more attractive in learning. They were more engaged in learning on their own using digital media, smartphones, discussions, etc. By this time, they also learned the intellectual skills are not enough. Therefore, students started learning many skills required for their education, what we call skill-oriented education. If you look at it, I would like to say the most important skills that we require for the 21st century education, which many children are doing that, which includes critical thinking, problem solving, and then say collecting information from various sources, collating that, collaborative discussion with other people, adaptability, agility, and then adjustment, adaptability, analyzing situation, and ready for that situation. These are the challenges and demands of the 21st century, where student-centered learning is most important. I think that is one shift we got is, though there were many inventions and discoveries in 20th century by countries like Japan, then Germany, England, all these things, in India, initiatives were not there. 21st century, when it came, and the new policy, new education policy made that initiations, Atmanirbhar, and all these things will make now students who go for initiatives on their own, do on their own, learn on their own. This is the major difference between the 20th and 21st century education, according to my own will. I am not referring to any other thing. It's my own wish. Your next question and the last question, please.
Yes, Siddharth, thank you so much. That was very insightful. And the last question for today is, teachers are always learning. That's what I've learned about teachers, that even my teachers, they never stop learning. The curiosity and the thirst for knowledge is never ending. So, can you share an instance on a lesson that you've learned from a student of yours?
Well, I'm so happy that teachers are always learning, you said, but sometimes it is not true. Because when teachers especially learn something in 1 year, they keep on doing the same thing for several years. That's how the things went on during the 20th century and education was going on. When student-centered education came to the being, then students learned more than the teachers. Therefore, a day comes when a teacher like me should ask younger children to know how to use my smartphone, how to use my computer. That means students started teaching many things. Even today, I have seen in my own family, family, we have doctors and engineers, but still they have to ask their own children to teach how to do that. So that is a shift that is happening. So teachers will now have to learn from students, and they have to forget that they are teachers. They have to say they are learners, and learning should take place at every stage. I am learning at 84 years old now. I'm still learning how to use gadgets, especially from my own students and my own grandsons. I thank you, Chirag, for your wonderful questions. They are very thoughtful questions. And I think I would like to say goodbye to you. If you want to say last word, it is for you.
Thank you, Tata, as well, for answering all of my questions. And that's pretty much it. Thank you all for listening in, and goodbye.